This one is going to be really short. In the previous capsule, I mentioned what are the best tools to use with in-season training with athletes. In this one, I'm going to tell you what you need to avoid. First thing, plyometrics. Never do plyometrics in season. It's completely stupid. Your athletes are already challenging the stretch shortening cycle. If they're volleyball players, basketball players, they're already jumping 50 times a practice or whatnot. If they're football players, the change of direction challenges the stretch shortening cycle. If you add plyometrics to that, you will have zero training effect and a drastic increase in the chance of injury. So no plyometrics or no high intensity training during season. You should avoid overloading the eccentric. Don't emphasize the eccentric. The most you can do with the eccentric in season is controlling the weight. If you go too slow, if you go overload, it will dramatically impair your capacity to recover by creating more muscle damage. You don't want that in season. Don't use a lot of exercise variation. That is completely stupid to do in season. You're just trying to maintain your strength. Just go with the movements that you know work best for you and you know well. Here's the thing. The better you are technically at a movement, the less muscle damage you cause. One of the biggest factors in causing muscle damage is when your brain doesn't know a certain movement pattern. The muscle fiber recruitment is inefficient, it's uneven, the muscle fibers don't work well together, one will stretch more than the other, one produces more force than the other, one has more load, the other is unloaded, so it creates cross-tearing action that causes more muscle damage. The better you are in exercise, the more your muscle fibers work together, the less muscle damage you create. So if you have tons of variation or changing the exercise too often in season, you create more muscle damage, you are an idiot. So these are the things you want to avoid the most. Now, another thing that you should also avoid, excessive volume. You're trying to maintain strength, okay? Off season is where you build it. That's where you build muscle, that's where you build strength. In season, you want to perform. If you do a great amount of volume in the weight room, it's impossible to perform at your best on the field. You will have neurological fatigue, your muscle will be fatigued. You might think you're feeling great, you don't even notice that you lost 5% speed, but it will show on the field. So don't go too high on the volume, don't overload the eccentric, don't use too much variation or change the exercises around, and no plyometrics. If you do that, you're golden.